Hey everyone, this is Mr. Wilson. Today we're going to be talking about how to do all of your media literacy assignments in my class. You'll have many, depending on how many levels you get to, and all of them will be done this same way. Also, some other assignments will be done in this way too. You should make sure that which assignments are supposed to be done this way. So, the best thing to do would be to copy and paste the questions that are asked. So here's the very first question: what is media? It doesn't take too long to copy and paste, and then you can make sure you answer all the questions. So that's fine. However, I don't need you to have a heading like this. Another thing is, once you answer all the questions, I want you to do a few things. One is do a word count check. On a PC, it's Control Shift C. On a Mac, it's Command Shift C, and you get this word count. Now, 233 word count hits the word count because I want 220. But another thing that you need to do is, first of all, get rid of everything that you don't need. So you're going to delete all of the questions. Now, this needs to be capitalized, obviously. What is literacy? You're going to take that out and you're going to put it all together like a paragraph. So I'm going to get rid of all of the questions that this student has, and I'll fast forward through all that. Okay, now that I've put it into a paragraph, now I'm going to do my word count, and I can see I only have 168 words. So this does not meet the word count. Another few things: media is any form of communication to a large audience. I can think of a few examples: Google, Safari, Twitter, Instagram, etc. I wanted you to include all of the examples at a minimum that were on the podcast. Now that was going to help you with your word count also. Literacy is the ability to read or write. That's good. Media literacy encompasses the practice that allow people to access, critically evaluate, and create media. I think she looked that up. Media literacy is the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, and create media. So this isn't exactly right. I think this student just looked up the definition and she got one that's close, but not the definition that I'm using. Passive means accepting or allowing what happens or what others do without resisting. Responding. Inert means lacking the ability or strength to move your body. That's fine. All of these words have something to do with media. These words can be used in the media. No, this is not correct. What do these words have to do with media? Well, it's an on your own question, and I understand if you don't know, if you're having trouble with it, you can always ask Mr. Wilson. Well, what is Calvin doing while he's watching TV? TV is a what kind of medium according to Calvin? It's a passive medium. And what is he while he is watching it? He is utterly inert. So when we watch TV, at least, we are passive and inert. And those are two words that we shouldn't be, that we should try to avoid being passive and inert. That's what those words have to do with media and media literacy. Media literacy is important because without media literacy, there would be no social media and no YouTube, Instagram, none of that. Okay, I wanted 2 sentences for why media literacy is important. And if you've looked at your rubric, which you should have, this is how you're grading according to 4 different things: completion, clarity, care, comprehension, and critical thinking. Completion: all questions are answered completely, word count hit. This student would not get 5 points here. Clarity: all sentences are written clearly and easily understood. That last sentence wasn't that clear. Don't know exactly what they mean. No spelling, grammar, or punctuation mistakes, no typos. That student did have some. But here's the really important thing: comprehension and critical thinking. In order to get a 5, you need to show an understanding of the concepts, clearly demonstrated. Critical and independent thought is clearly illustrated. So, media literacy is important because without media literacy, there would be no social media and no YouTube, Instagram, none of that. That's not really the kind of answer that I'm looking for. Media literacy is important because we need to think critically about all of the media in our lives so we don't get fooled by advertisements, so we don't believe in misinformation, so we don't get manipulated into thinking things that we shouldn't necessarily think. It is important to be able to analyze and evaluate the news because you never know what is going on around the world. A virus can be going around and you will never know. Without media, life would be much harder and complicated because you would not know what is going on around you and around the world. This is 1 sentence. I asked for 2. It shouldn't be 2. It should be split up. But it's also not very clear. And just as I said, don't mention weather. A virus, the same thing. You don't have to be media literate to know about a virus. You just need to watch the news. That's watching the news is not going to make you media literate. It's going to make you able to watch the news. Okay, you can access the news, but do you analyze and evaluate the news? If someone tells you there's a virus going around and it's on a legitimate news source, you don't need to analyze or evaluate that too much. Although I guess you could say that there are some people who might want to sensationalize that news for profit. But this is not the kind of thing I'm looking for here either. Now, this student is in 6th grade. All level 1s are going to be doing it. So if you're in 7th grade or 8th grade, I want a much better answer. Now, these are okay answers for a 6th grader, but they don't really show me a whole lot of critical thinking and comprehension. So this is how you're going to be doing it. You're going to be writing in a paragraph, and you might have encountered me saying you're going to be writing for a portfolio, an introduction to a portfolio. Eventually, I will be having my students make a portfolio. So imagine this as an introduction. You will have an online portfolio, and they're going to be reading your media literacy and video production portfolio. You are going to be introducing them to your portfolio by saying, hey, this is what media and media literacy is. Welcome to my portfolio. All my work is going to be about media literacy and video production. And then you're going to be keeping all of your work on that online portfolio. I haven't started that this year yet. Hopefully I'll start it either this semester or next year. But even if I don't do the portfolio, that's how I want you to be writing for someone who has not seen the videos, who has not seen the questions. And then you're going to make sure you do a word count to make sure you hit all the word counts and you're showing me critical thinking and comprehension. And then you will turn it into your Google Classroom.